I had the short rib. I feel like it really knocked the wind out of me. But I'm very excited to be here. It's so nice to see everybody without masks, you know. I feel like it was really hard to catch a compliment with a mask on. I'm still getting used to it now. I actually hallucinated a compliment the other day. I thought this guy said, "You look lovely." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And he was like, "I said, are you hungry?" I'm like, I guess I'm hungry for some compliments, but pizza's fine. I'll take 2 slices. I feel like I didn't have any big epiphanies, you know, during the pandemic. A lot of people I know, they quit drinking or they made amends with people they hadn't talked to in a long time. I didn't have any of that. I learned how to cook banana bread, cleaned my chakras. I took a tarot card reading class. I feel like I turned into a very curious retiree, and it felt right. I will say that one thing I noticed during the pandemic is that I don't know anybody in my building. I've been in my building for like over 10 years, only 8 apartments, I don't know anybody. And lockdown seemed like a pretty suspicious time to get social, you know. I'm like, "Hey, I'm Kendra from 2R. Do you have any muscle relaxers I could borrow? Because I'd like to sleep for 5 to 7 days, if that's an option." I did get some new neighbors during the pandemic right across the hall. The apartment across the hall from me, always a married couple. One married couple moves out, another married couple moves in. And I always sort of try to justify being unmarried by critiquing the relationship I see across the hall. And this new couple, very hard to critique. They have a nice life. They cook like bacon like 5 times a week. Monday night, Tuesday morning. It's like they're running an underground breakfast joint over there. And then they have really loud sex. It's like the life I want is right across the hall. They've never invited me over. 2 parties they've had and haven't invited me. It's a shame. I feel like I'm good at a party, you know? I'm wondering how long it's going to take them to realize every time they have a party and don't invite me, one of their FedEx packages disappears. Am I going to have to point that out to these people? I did realize, though, that I want to be rich. All I've been doing for the past, dozen years is stand up and bartending. So it's like both my jobs, I can show up half drunk with 5 of my friends. Nobody cares. But I got really burnt out on the bartending. I got cranky. One of my last shifts, I had a guy come in. He had his money fanned out in his hand, and he was like, "I have $7. What should I get?" I was like, "I don't know, a job, some financial planning advice, perhaps." And go buy a banana and make a phone call. I can't help you here. I'm making my living dollar by dollar. I did watch a lot of shamans, though, during the pandemic. Spiritual advisors, people pay them to give them advice. Very loose credentials. You go to the woods, come out in a caftan, you're a shaman now. But it turns out a good shaman makes like $160,000 a year. I know. I was like, I could be a shitty shaman and still make a good living, All I need is like 80 grand. Get my roots done every month. But no, I didn't come from money. We didn't have trust funds in my family. We barely had trust. One time I asked my grandmother, I said, "Hey, what's nepotism?" And she said, "Oh, I think it's like gout." Oh, we don't even know the vocabulary that goes along with being wealthy. But I do love going back to Boston. I go back to Boston quite a bit. My mother's back there. My mother loves to talk on the phone. The other day she tried to send me a selfie, and I got like a 10-second video of her chewing gum. She was like, "I tried to send you a selfie." I'm like, "Oh, I know. I have the evidence." But I love going back to Boston. Every time I go back, she loves to take me on memory lane drive-bys. And they always start very warm and inviting, and by the end, morose and frightening. And it always starts with the parish. She's like, "Oh, you remember the parish, don't you? Nice memories there. You were baptized, confirmed. Oh, here's the high school. Remember you got drunk and you knocked your front tooth out? You made your mother cry. Remember how you made your mother cry?" Then it goes on to have something that has nothing to do with me. She's like, "Remember that guy got murdered over here? Yeah, they never found his torso. You and your sister were out late that night, but I didn't ask any questions. I love you unconditionally. Remember that." I do think the only thing that I stand to inherit really in my family is anxiety, 'Cause that expression, like every journey begins with a single step, except for my family where every journey begins with countless discussions of how that journey could go wrong. That's really how it goes down. But I did start taking care of my anxiety at a young age. My parents got divorced. My mother was reading all these self-help books. I was in high school. I wanted to be like her. I was in the 9th grade reading Codependent No More. By the time I graduated high school, I had the vocabulary of a well-read divorcee. But lots of anxiety dreams. Like I would have, I remember as a kid, I had dreams of abandonment. And my dreams, I'd come home, my house was empty, my family was gone. And now, as an adult, I have a lot of anxiety dreams about food. Like the other day, I had a dream that I was eating lasagna alone in an empty restaurant. And today, I made that dream come true. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That's the way I look at it. But I do affirmations every day. I don't know about you guys. Every day I get up, I look in the mirror, I'm like, I love and adore myself. This too shall pass. I always feel like I get brainwashed. Like the other day I was out to lunch and the waitress came up and she said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "I'm totally ready. No one can stop me. I'm big, I'm strong, I move fast, I'll never quit." I'll take the pasta special. Thank you. But I am living with a man. It's not platonic. But I gotta say, I left Boston years ago because everyone I knew was getting married. And the guy I was with was like, "Hey, whenever you want to get married, just say the word." And I had no idea what the word was. But I was petrified I might say it by accident. I got the hell out of there. But I feel like I've softened on the idea of getting married. Like the other night I was out having a drink and this guy sat next to me and he said, "Are you waiting for your husband?" And I was like, "Yes, are you him?" I've been waiting for a very long time. Sometimes I just think it'd be better if we could adopt animal mating rituals, you know? Like I recently was at the Brooklyn Zoo and they had a big baboon exhibit. And they said when a female baboon is ready to mate, her ass gets red and swollen. I was like, I think I have a little baboon in me. But the clincher is when a male baboon is ready to mate, he grooms the female. I'm like, oh, that's nice. She's so horny, her ass is swollen. And he's like, let's get a mani-pedi first. You guys have been a lot of fun. My name's Kendra Cunningham. Thank you so much for having me. New York moves.